There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I see with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. Peace is welcome here. You are welcome here.
We are back. We are black. We are here. You are welcome here. Thank you for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good day to you wherever you are at this very moment in time. Thank you for tuning in to yourself. As I always say, tune into yourself first. That's the most important request, the most important spiritual practice. Because once you tune in to yourself, that's your gateway to freedom. Quali, do me a favor. Can you just check? I should be fine. Can you check for me that I'm good on what is it? YouTube and Facebook, please. Can you be my tech person? because let me just double check because I don't want to talk for another 18 minutes, 20 minutes. And those of you on Facebook can't hear me, but I'm sure it is. If you don't mind checking for me, that'll be great. And there's ways for me to check it. Actually, you know what, Quali? Don't worry. I'm going to check it right now. And we have to tune in for me to say, okay, let's make sure we're doing what we need to do. So I need to do that now. Just bear with me. Those of you on IG, on Being You Podcast and Life Coach at a page. How do I get to my, okay, here's how I get to my channel. Yep, I'm live and we want to make sure we have sound. Okay, great. We got sound over there. Let's make sure we got sound on Facebook. This is live. This is live, people. I'm sorry. Why is this reconnecting? Whatever. I'm not even going to worry about that right now. I just want to make sure. Well, if it's live, if there's volume on YouTube, then there's definitely volume on Facebook. Thank you, Quali. I appreciate you. And somebody, yeah, I think I see you on there. So yes, you tune into yourself first. When you tune into yourself, you're tuning into the great I am. And when you tune in, you get to listen, you get to hear, you get to remember. And as you tune in and listen, you create this. You can find me on YouTube. It's a tricky thing on YouTube. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to change. So it's youtube.com/LC Radio. I don't have a Being You page. Maybe, I don't know if it's available, but I don't know if I want to start over again. So it's kind of tricky to find me on YouTube, youtube.com/LC Radio. Yes, when you tune in, you listen. When you listen, you give yourself permission to be transformed. I am Ade, your transformational beingness artist. Welcome to another episode of Ade Presents Being You. The journey back to self, where we are reminded that to just remind ourselves, actually. I'm reminding you, they are reminding you, you're reminding you to affirm, to allow, to accept, to claim that you are present, you are here, you are now. I am present. I am here. I am now. I'm telling you, I've that affirmation always brings me back to myself. And it was downloaded during the representing our ancestors, representing our stories. And so much I can say about that, but I will keep going. I'm going to see something's going on over here. I don't know why. Let's see. Well, whatever. It's season 4, episode 7, Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Yes, it's yesterday. And of course, like we always do, every day is Love Day. You're supposed to love every day. You're supposed to. Black History Month is every day. Yeah, yes. And it's important to have the day to just remind ourselves. Of course, it's been commercialized. So we recognize that. We understand that. But it is what it is. But it's another opportunity to remind us, just like our birthdays, right? We have a birthday, but every day we're birthed. Every day is a birthday. Every time we go to bed, we die. Whether you're taking a nap, you die. You die to the old and you resurrect. You rise up the next day, the next moment, the next 20 minutes. It's all the same. It's all the same. And you know what's funny about the theme for today is I actually did not even think about IG is doing something crazy. Those of you, you're on one account over there, and this is another account, just in case you're like, no, IG is fine. What's he talking about? This is the Being You IG page. It's disconnecting. It won't share. Well, if it shares, I'll share it and then continue. It's not streaming right now, but that's okay. So, yeah, this theme. When I received the download to talk about living aligned with the heart, I was not even thinking of Valentine's Day. And the funny thing about it is, it actually hit me last night. Like, oh, wait a minute. I'm talking about the heart, talking about love. I did not plan it. And I'm sure most of you have as well. I've had many experiences in the last few months, actually longer, but lately it's almost like it's intensifying. Things that are happening to remind me that I am aligned. Things that are happening. And I want to know, I'm sure you guys have the same thing. Like things are happening and it's like, well, what a coincidence. Sometimes, people say, I don't believe in coincidence. I do. It's several things happening at the same time. It's an incident that's happening. Many of them coincidence. When you get yourself in a place of alignment and what you're seeking, wanting, desiring aligns with the great I am, call it God, call it whatever, you start to see things like, whoa, I was just thinking about that. I was just talking about that. And that's one way to know if you're living aligned. Now, I'm not saying when you don't see that happening, that means you're not aligned, but the little signs and symbols to remind us that we are connected, that we are listening, we're being guided to the right place, to the right people. And I have so much to say, but I won't go there because that's not part of the show, unless it is. Anyway, how to align with your heart is what I titled it. As I was starting the show, because I'm a creative, I'm always thinking, always revamping. And then I thought, damn, I should have called the show how to live aligned with your show. And it's really all the same. It's how to live aligned, how to align with, it's the same. If you're aligned with your heart, you're living aligned with your heart. My critical self was like, people are doing that. You're going to talk about how to live aligned? Oh, okay. It's like telling people how to breathe. Well, we have breath workshops. We remind people to breathe because we forget. It's so interesting that who we are, what we are, how we are, we have to remind ourselves to go back to that. Sometimes when we breathe, some of us do shallow breathing. So we're just breathing from here. Maybe not so fast, but it's like we get so tense. One of the techniques I teach people is to breathe and imagine that your nose is on your belly button. When you first hear it, it's kind of crazy. Like, what? But when you breathe, let's do it together if you want. You don't have to. It's an invitation. When you breathe from your belly button, breathe in, breathe out. If you do that one more time, put your hands on your belly, on your stomach, on your solar plexus. Or if y'all ladies be like, oh, my tummy feels funny. You never want a guy talk about tummy. I don't want to say it. My tummy. But anyway, your belly, your stomach, your solar plexus. Breathe in, imagining your nose is on your belly button. And breathe out. And it allows you to take a deeper breath. There's so much going on in the world that cause us to forget the simple things. So people like me, this is part of our purpose, to remind people, to remind ourselves what it means to be a spiritual being in a human body. Hey, Keisha, how are you doing? Pat is in the house. Let me see what Ashley wrote here. Oops, Ashley the singer. I'm trying to out you. Ashley said, I think small children have a sense of this nightly death. I like that. Yes, nightly death when they sleep. We spend a lot of time connecting before they sleep. I think of it as plunging in, charging hearts before separation. Ooh, that's deep. I sometimes look at it as rebooting my system, but it's all the same, recharging. When you're tired, you go to sleep. Sometimes some of us, those of us that are united in spirit, we push through the tiredness. We stay up late. I ain't talking about nobody. Well, I've really made peace with the fact that I'm a night owl, and that's just what it is. But it is reminding ourselves that the power that we have is in the heart. Now, I'm putting my hands to my chest. But when I'm talking about the heart, I'm talking about that. I'm talking about so much more than the physical organ. I'll talk more about that. I'm so excited to go in and I've had some technical adventures before the show. So I recognize, honor people, particularly my teachers of the past. And I didn't get a chance to gather some notes about Dr. Barbara King, Dr. Barbara Lewis King, the founder of Hillside International Truth Center, which is where I started my spiritual journey. So I want to acknowledge her today in this month of Black History Month, who made her transition. When was it? Was it 2019? Yeah, 2020. Can't remember. I think it's 19, October 19. That's October 2019. But she's no longer in the physical body. She's here. And Dr. Barbara is an example. I mean, Dr. Barbara is something else. Woo! But what I can say is she's an example, and she inspires me. She inspired me, and she still does. Because of her yes, because of how she showed up in the world, she allowed me, she gave me the tools, the keys to the kingdom within. She helped me discover that I'm a teacher, I'm a student of life, and I'm a teacher of life. I'm a healer. I'm here to communicate. I'm a storyteller. I'm here to inspire. I remember I've shared many times that with Dr. Barbara, when she was teaching the metaphysics of the Bible, my mom is Christian, my dad is Muslim. We didn't go to church on a Sunday, but mom was always praying. We didn't go to the mosque every day or do the 5-day prayer, but dad, especially during the Ramadan, we'll do the prayer in the evening, break our fast. We'll fast for, 30 days? 30 days. And sometimes in the middle of the fast, you forget you're fasting. You meaning more. And then eat something. Oops. Or sometimes people give us stuff and we have to keep it till later at 7 o'clock. So my siblings and I, we grew up in a household where there was an acknowledgement of Islam and there's an acknowledgement of Christianity. But for whatever reason, I've always had this deep connection to God. And even maybe my teens, maybe before that, I used to say to people, I don't understand this thing about God love you so much, but yet God's going to send you to hell. What kind of love is that? I don't get it. And people say, well, it's kind of like your parents. They love you. If you do something wrong, they're going to beat you. They're going to smack you. They're going to whoop you. I'm like, I don't get it. Either love is going to love me or not. Love corrects. And sometimes the correction may be painful. And I still opt out in that idea of hell. That folks are going to, there's so many things that they say about hell, amount of people is going to go to heaven. Ain't nobody trying to go there and then rushing to get there. People praying to stay alive. But that's a whole different conversation. But for me, it's this whole thing about really recognizing transparency. I forgot the point I was trying to make. I can't stand that I have to out myself all the time. So I was talking about, because someone remind me what I was going to say when I went off. You probably don't even remember. Marion said, yes, Dr. Barbara. She said she learned a lot from Dr. Barbara. Yes, Dr. Barbara. Thank you. There it is. That's what I was talking about. So she was teaching. I was trying to front. This is live. I can't edit this. I'm going to just tell the truth so I can, like Dr. Barbara would say, tell the truth, shame the devil. And just tell the truth. I lost my point, but it came back. When you tell the truth, you give yourself permission to realign. Sometimes we'll be fronting and everybody else like, he's fronting. Yeah, but we're going to go with it. And then everything else I say after that, you probably won't listen to because you already know that I'm fronting. But I'm no longer fronting because I confessed. So Dr. Barbara was teaching the metaphysics of the Bible. Thank you, Marion. I was so inspired by the teaching. It was on Wednesday nights that even the days that I was working, I was making sure I was not working on a Wednesday, because through basically what she taught us, which is the truth, that places in the Bible, names, locations, the numbers, the time, the east. When they say the wise men look to the east is a point of illumination. Jesus, the Christ, represents illumination. So whole different conversation. But everything has a meaning beyond just what we're reading. So for me, I was getting a new understanding about life. I was getting clarity, the things that I believed, that I questioned when I was younger. And I was thinking, wow, I didn't know there was a church, spiritual center that really believed in the thought that I had. I was thinking it was just positive thinking. Oh, I was so inspired. And it gave me a new love for the Bible. And over the years, I've had my experience with the Bible because it's often contaminated with other experiences with people who are holding the Bible and what they're saying about the Bible and what they're saying about the Bible as it relates to me and other people. But on my own journey, as I align with my heart, I've come to realize I can read an advertisement and get my message because the message is always it's everywhere. God is everywhere. Truth is everywhere. Donata, nice to see you. You said, oh, you felt the same thing about God? Like, how can God love you so much and still burn you for the rest of your life? I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't believe in it. And I would even say it's not true. You know what? Here's the thing. Ooh, that's taking me somewhere else. Y'all know me. You know, I can't. I have my notes for things I need to say, the advertisement and stuff. But when I come here, it's just a whole different thing. We're not punished for our sins. We're punished by our sins. See, sin is an old English word, an archery word. So when you pull your, the bow? Yeah, the arrow, pull it back and you miss, they say sin, which means you missed the mark. So sin is you missed the mark. So when we miss the mark by not treating one another with love, with care, compassion, understanding, it's easy to say, oh, God's going to get you. No, what you did is going to get you. If you miss the mark of being kind, of being loving, life itself will get you, not to punish you, because you are the one thinking the thought. And that thought becoming a thing, and because of law of attraction, the laws of life that we don't even know about, that we don't have a full understanding of, because you generated a thought, it will come back to you. So you may not find yourself somebody being mean to you, but you may think that someone is mean to you because of whatever you believe or whatever the case may be. What you send out, you attract. We are creative beings. We are vibrational beings. We receive impulse from the divine. We are the place where God gets to represent itself. I don't know. Well, let me say it this way. I don't know if there's a face of God that I would see once I die. Once I make my transition. There's some people who would say that's the case. Maybe. But what I know for sure is the quickest way to see the face of God is to look at each and every one of you. To look at my siblings, my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my nephews, people I see on the street. That's the face of God. And when when more of us start to see the face of God through others, it will change our behavior. It will change how we treat one another. We keep waiting for God. Oh, God's going to get you. The devil's going to get you. Karma's going to get you. No, this is it. Check people who need to be checked. You can check people with love, loving kindness. Oh, here's another one. How about checking yourself? How about checking yourself? This thing called conflict. There's so many of us that say, oh, I don't like conflict. I don't like conflict. It's okay. I get it. I understand it's uncomfortable. However, if you don't like conflict, it will be difficult for you to interrogate yourself. Because to interrogate yourself, to question yourself, feels like conflict. Like, do you really want to do this? Do you want to spend that money? Is this what you should be doing? Is this the relationship you're supposed to be in? Is this the job you're supposed to be doing? Is this where you want to move to? Is this a car you should be buying? Can you really afford this eventually? Now you got it now, but is this a wise use of your money? Is this a wise use of your time? And if you don't want to deal with conflicts, because sometimes those questions are so confronting, it brings about conflict. Like, get away. You want to flick it away. There are ways that we can deal with conflict. Someone said something to me recently. When you find yourself in conflict, you're actually is coming from respect for the other. And it's all about living aligned, living from the heart. The heart carries so much. It carries betrayal. I mean, and I'm doing this, it's just conditioning, really. Because when I talk about the heart, I'm talking about consciousness. I'm talking about your mind. I'm talking about your heart. I'm talking about your brain. I'm talking about your spirit. I'm talking about your body. I'm talking about the experiences that you go through and grow through on a daily basis. I'm talking about your family members. I'm talking about your ancestors. Your heart is connected to everything. So if your heart is connected to there's a chance to experience everything. Maybe not at once, maybe watered down, maybe intense. The full moon is around the corner. Oh, I know some people are getting triggered. I was about to get triggered before the show. Stuff was happening. I had to take a breath. Hey, Jackie, my dear sister, New Jays. So good to see you. Sending you love and blessings. Woo! I'm going to take this moment. I didn't finish talking about Dr. Barber. I remember. I forgot, but I remember. So Jackie's in the house, and a friend of hers, who is kind of like a friend of mine, he listens to the show. Ooh, I don't know if I want to go here. He listens to the show, and Jackie introduced him to me in the show to him, and he checks out the show every now and then. Every now and then. His name is Charles. He made his transition a few days ago, and he was on the show last 2 weeks ago. And I hadn't seen him on the show, and I was like, oh, look who's here. Charles is here. And then found out he had an accident, and he made his transition. So right now, Jackie, for the love of our brother, Charles Scott, however it is, wherever it is, floating in the universe right now, we know that he's free from the pain of the body. And we know that we are not disconnected from him. So we honor the life that showed up as Charles Scott. We honor his life right now. So Dr. Barbara King, she taught the metaphysics of the Bible, and I had a new appreciation for Bible. I had a new appreciation for metaphysics, new thought, even new age. We get so caught up in these titles: Christianity, Muslim, pagans. Oh my God. And what people don't know, what the Western world doesn't understand, they call it demonic. And we buy into it too. And we're not just buying into it, because I'm not even going to give white people that much power. So white people that are listening, don't think, oh my God, they're blaming us again. Slow down, slow your rolls. There are some white people who did things who didn't understand the culture in Africa that made it demonic. It's not you, even though we're connected to everything. Okay. There are black people who do things because they don't understand what's going on. Things that happen in Africa, and they say it's demonic. Not just Africa, it happens in Peru. Vicky and I, we have a podcast where I'm a co-host with her. It's Vicky's podcast. And she brought a teacher. He's from Peru. And he was talking about his experience that he died as a child and he came back. And his mother knew he was going to come back. And when he came back, the mother kept the coffin in the house. So he shared that people in Peru, family, I guess people in the neighborhood, I don't know, were thinking some kind of voodoo, because that's the where people go to, some kind of juju, some kind of black magic. And it blew me away, because when you don't know, you don't know. When you don't know, you don't know. So I thought, okay, this whole thing about African spirituality is demonized. Well, actually, African spirituality is the only spirituality that's demonized, because I didn't know. But to hear it from him, like, no, it was happening in Peru, in places, Colombia, who knows, Venezuela. We know it happens in England and America. I mean, that's just the norm. If you ain't Christian, well, if you ain't Christian, then you're doing some voodoo shit. That's just the way it is, right? All roads leads to God. And I'm going to confess. So my boo is listening. She's watching. And she always tells me I come from the heart, that I express love, and I know it. I know it. There was a time when I did shows and I didn't want to say love because I was thinking, well, I don't want people to think I'm just talking about love. You know, I minimize love because how I was going to feel. But what I will say is how I'm made, how my checking account is set up. When I am talking about this conversation about tuning to the heart, I get very emotional and I can feel it now. And there's a part of me that's afraid I don't want to go there. And it's part of the step. Well, don't want to be vulnerable or messy, but that's part of the steps I'm going to share with you. So I'm having to leave what I teach because I really feel like what the world needs. Oh God. It's more people that are living from the heart. And we've made it so complicated. It's not complicated. And it is because we wake up, we grow up, we go to school, we go to work, and it's almost like the world is determined to break our heart. And it gets so painful. But we don't even need to care too much, worry too much about what's going on in the world. If we can focus more on what's going on in our world, in our family, how loving are you living from the heart? Let's make it simple. For you, are you living from your heart? Are you doing? If today was your last day on this earth, would there be some things that you regret? And if you can be honest with that question, you open yourself up to so much more. It is a scary question. I don't want to go ahead of myself and I'm getting so emotional. Not because I'm sad, just the vibration of love just takes me places. So I'm going to stop for a minute. Woo! I was kind of like nervous about doing the show. But Spirit was like, you got to be about the work. I have no problem questioning myself. And this is what Pat said. I have no questioning myself and my behaviors. But when it comes to confronting other people, I have a problem because people get belligerent. Girl, I hear you. I hear you. I know. I'm not saying all Christians are like that. Did I give that impression that all Christians are like that? That's no. Trust me. I know all Christians ain't like that. I know. No, but really, I mean, and if I say anything when I generalize, sometimes I often say I'm generalizing, and I think part of this about this thing called life, when it comes to our personal development, spiritual development, this conversation about God, it's so easy to generalize. And I feel like I do my best not to generalize because I have met some spiritual or some Christian people who are far more spiritual than people who are telling me they're spiritual. I don't believe in duality. I'm a light worker. And I'm hearing what they're saying. I'm like, shut the flip up. Because it's not even about Christianity. It's not about being a Muslim, Islam. It's not about being a pagan. It is, but it isn't. At the root of it all, where's your heart? Where is your heart? That's the thing. Pat said it should be simple, but it's sometimes complicated. Yes. So anyway, I honor Dr. Barbara King for founding her own church in Atlanta, Georgia, a new third church at that. They call the South the Bible Belt. So she started a church where she's saying God loves everybody. and reminding people that we're all connected to God, and reminding people that the love of God, the love of the great I am, is self-correcting, that no matter how bad. And here's the one that was controversial, and she stood by it, that even if you're in a same gender loving relationship, God loves you. That was very controversial. She's a woman. She's the leader. There were places when they invited her to events, they won't let her sit in front with the other preachers, ministers. She went through it. But because she went through it, I am here. Many people are here. Many people found their way back to God in a loving way. So today I honor Dr. Barbara King, founder of Hillside International Truth Center. And that's the same spiritual center that I write daily thoughts for. Yes. Let me read what's in here and see where we go next. I was sort of feeling like this is going to be a conversational show, but my show is always that. I don't always live from my heart because it requires me to be vulnerable. Gary here never lied. I'm trying to stop myself from crying here because I get too like you now. I know that I do need to fix it so it's easy to read the thing. Like you now, I know there is strength in vulnerability. Brene Brown, yep. But America has taught me you will get taken advantage of. Yes. I want to talk about that. Yes, Dr. Barbara King was born and raised in, she was born and raised in Houston, Texas. But she had to leave. She had to leave to start her ministry. Yes, she was a dean in Clark University or something like that in Atlanta. Okay, so this show is going a different route. I have 4 steps that I want to share with you, and I'm just going to touch on it as I address that conversation that Pat just posted. Woo! This is a lot. I live my life like this, but sometimes I get nervous. Talk about being vulnerable, Pat. You said, oh my God, I don't even know. I feel so teary. She said, but America has taught me you get taken advantage of. Let me speak to that. Yes. But and not just America. In this country, UK, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Japan. I don't really know a lot about them, but I'm sure what I'm saying is this is a human thing. Because we don't understand the heart, we've been miseducated about it. So, for me, I believe that true freedom comes from when we're living from the heart, living from that Christ consciousness, living from God, living from truth. Say the truth will set you free. Your truth is speaking from the heart. Now, Rev D has in her book, The Sacred Yes, which transformed my life. Because, we talk about spiritual truth. But one of the things that I read in The Sacred Yes was there's the spiritual truth, and then there's a personal truth. So the personal truth in this case, Pat, to use Pat's comment as an example, thank you for sharing that. There's Black people in America has had a certain kind of experience that's unique to Black people in America. And the truth is, the color of your skin, personal truth, the color of your skin can get you killed. So you can't step out in the world not being aware, like trying to protect your heart, because some people will take advantage of it. The spiritual truth is you are protected. Whether you're Black, whether you're white, whatever, the red, green, I don't understand that, but I understand it, but I don't understand it. It's melanin. There's a dark melanated people, there highly melanated people, and those who are deficient until scientists decide. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. So the truth is you are protected, and not only are you protected, you can have an experience that's different from what other people are saying. This might be controversial, but I just need you to listen for a minute. And then when you hear me, you can say that's BS or you can try it on. We have spiritual truth and we have personal truth. Oftentimes we blend it. We think because I procrastinate, because I don't know how to pray. That's one of the steps. Number one step. Because I don't know how to pray. Because I don't, whatever your I don't know is. Because I'm challenging this area. Because I was raped. Because I was molested. Because my mother was on drugs. Whatever the case. Because I was disappointed. Because I went to the altar and my partner didn't, my husband, girlfriend, or fiance didn't show up. Yes, those are your personal truth. But there is a spiritual truth that does not define you, and you are so much more, and you can transform that experience to one that actually lifts you higher. But racism in America is so loud, the media and us too, because it's so painful that we have literally made white supremacy into a god. White supremacy is like the devil. And those of us that really have a relationship with God, it's like, okay, there's God and then there's the devil, white supremacy. There are all types of injustice, oppression, marginalization. Say it slow. It shows up in different ways. And here's the other thing that's hard to hear sometimes, and I got to say it. White supremacy is a human flaw. It came from a human flaw. What I mean by that is we all have that need to feel better than another. We all have the need to be jealous of another. We all have it. Before you run to work, but I don't try and kill people. Slow down. Because in order to heal anything, you got to feel it. You got to deal with it. What's the root? This root of feeling less than, feeling separated from, feeling like you're better or feeling like you're less than. Only people who feel less than will come up with some kind of supremacy. Because if you feel like you're not less than, you have no need to enforce anything. You walk in like, of course I'm more than these people. But if you have to enforce something, whether it's in your family, in your relationship, you don't feel like you are more than enough. That's pretty loaded. You can ask me questions if you want to. It happens. The things that we do to one another as human beings. I'm not minimizing white supremacy or oppression. I'm not minimizing it. I just need you to hear me. There's privilege, there's power, there's all sorts. But when you narrow it down, any kind of supremacy, even I've been thinking about this. It might sound kind of crazy to people. This idea of having a king-size bed being the biggest. You know, the king is number one. I mean, how did that even come about? The king, now, I'm doing some kind of separation here, but something that I often think about. My understanding, my awareness, my belief about God is not male or female, it's male and female. But it's not even male and female as we think about it. I'm talking about masculine and feminine. It's an energy. There's a plus and negative, it's yin yang. Like your brain, the left brain and the right brain, they work together as one. There's an ass, and we can't even measure this. Now, here's another thing that might blow your mind. No, don't go there. I want to stay with this topic. I get so stimulated. No matter what we're dealing with in the world, no matter what it is, wherever you are in the world, God is so much more than this, so much more than that. The divine, the great I am. And here's another secret. That we don't want to be vulnerable, but your strength is winning your vulnerability. That vulnerability, when you're vulnerable, if I can say it like this, that's when you're closer to God. That's why it is your strength. Have you heard a mother, a father, a family member pray from that place of vulnerability of what they're feeling? That they start crying? Or even in spiritual centers, churches, mosques, when people get into that zone, Just they tap into that place that's vulnerable. That's where the heart is. The heart, all of it is the secret place of the Most High. If you want to learn to stand more in that, so that you get to a place where white supremacy, you're like, psh, and not even, psh, you actually create an experience where you get to have a different experience. Okay, let's go through the steps. 4 steps I want to share with you. The number 1 is pray. How to live aligned. How to align with your heart. Number 1, pray. There are many steps. This is just 4 that I've narrowed down. Actually, I received 3, and then as I worked with it, I got the 4th one. So the first one is pray. Now, when you think of prayer, people have all sorts of things about it. I'm going to read what you wrote here. Actually, you know what? Well, no, I won't give you the extra work because I don't know. I was going to say, Pat, you often add good stuff in here that charges me, and I don't want to miss it, but I think I can say it. Because of how we've been socially engineered, we've been conditioned just by default. So we have been taught to believe that either only special people have access to God and they're the only one that can pray for shift to happen. I said shift. If you heard something else, I don't know. But prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. Prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. So don't even, if you're one of those people that say, I don't know how to pray, I get nervous when I pray. I mean, some people get nervous when they pray for whatever reason, for many reasons. But I invite you to drop the idea that you don't know how to pray. Do you know how to talk? Do you know how to communicate? Can you talk to your beloved? Can you talk to your loved ones? Can you talk to your boo? How do you talk to your child? How do you talk to your niece, your nephew? When you you love them. Or if you're in a relationship, how do you talk to your partner, your wife, your husband? Maybe you have something on your heart. Yeah, you're feeling vulnerable, like, oh my God, maybe they're just going to look at me funny now. Even if it's a new relationship or not. And you have created your life. That's what I want to say. You've created your life where you've attracted somebody who can hold space for you, even in your mess. That's another step. We'll talk more about that. You're in a relationship with someone who can hold space for you and with you. And you know that they love you. Are you going to say, I don't know how to talk? No, you're going to talk. Personal experience, I might be like, I want to tell you something, but I'm a bit nervous. I mean, I know you're not going to judge me, but I feel like you're going to judge me. So I know what's going on in my head, but I just really need you to hear me. My beloved goes, I'm listening. And there's something about the expression on her face that makes me feel safe. So think of somebody that you love. Maybe it's your grandmother, your grandfather, who can create that space for you. And when you are in your most messy stage, they hold space. They look at you in a way that makes you feel safe to confess your sins, if you will. And now multiply that by 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Multiply that experience, that feeling, that reassurance by infinity. For me, that's what the great I Am does. I'm telling you what I practiced. And I'll get a little bit more vulnerable because it happens and I heard to share it. I don't always want to share my business. So yes, there's personal truth and there's spiritual truth, because we are taught that if you live from the heart, people will take advantage of you. It's the reason you want to live from the heart on a daily basis. because your heart itself will transform those who are trying to take advantage of you. It transformed them by not bringing them on your path, that you never had to join with them. And if you happen to attract somebody into your life that's trying to take advantage of you, that there will be a shield around your heart that you've been radiating. Your love itself becomes your protection. This heart business, it's not an intellectual thing. It is a surrender to the great I am. It is a surrender to want to be vulnerable during the show. It's a surrender to speaking your truth and thinking, this might be it. This might get me fired. This might end my relationship. The business deals, they're not going to do the business with me anymore. But I got to speak my truth because I desire to be free. It's simple. We make it complicated. There's some complexity to it. And that's why the steps are needed. So prayer is talking to God. And not just a one-time thing, not just a morning thing, a night thing. Prayer is a state of mind. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in your mind. Like there's something you're worried about. You get an invoice, and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I could pay it. And you tap into prayer, have a conversation with the divine. Have a conversation with God. For the past 2-3 weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe something around that, but I can say at least 2 weeks, I wake up feeling very heavy, worrying about things that I'm trying to get done, accomplished. And not only was that happening, it's almost like that emotion, those emotions, they were just waiting for me to wake up. Like, we're just going to wait here. When he wakes up, we're going to jump inside of him, and I'll wake up. And I feel heavy, and I'm worrying, and I'm concerned. And I've also had the experience where I wake up feeling joyful, feeling grateful. I like that better. And I know it's a place that I could return to. A few days ago, I'd had enough, and I brought out my journal. You've heard me share this many times. With my journal, I write and talk to God. I ask a question, dear God, blah, blah, blah. How do I blow whatever? What do I need to do? What should I do today? What should I do about this project? Whatever. And then I listen for the answer. It's not a special skill that nobody has. It's not like, it's not a special skill that maybe few of us have. Well, I wish I could listen to God. Yeah, we all can listen to God, but you got to fine tune your inner ear. Like musicians, they can hear sounds that general people in the audience can't hear. And we're like, wait, no. Like they'll stop a choir from singing, and you're like, why? Like, no, they didn't have the right tone. Dogs can hear sounds we can't hear. So there is a way, there is a tune, there is a music, there's a way that the divine speaks to each and every one of us. I get it like an impression. Sometimes I see images. Sometimes I hear, but it's not like hearing my own words as I hear it now. It's an inner hearing. Sometimes a word. When I got the theme for this show, it was living in line with the heart. And then I play with it, and it ended up being how to align with the heart. I did some mental, intellectual thing. But here's the point. Like a few days ago, so I've had enough. I just had enough. Like I'm done with waking up. Because when I look at my life is good. There's so many things going on in my life now that I'm just so grateful for. Was once a dream. Was once a prayer. That how will that happen? I really need this to happen. Now I'm living it, and I'm still worrying. Something's wrong with this picture. So I wanted to shift my perspective so I can focus more on the things that are working. I got my journal and I started to write. And I said, okay, God, I'm not even trying to be spiritual. I'm not trying to be whatever. I'm just going to talk plainly. I'm going to keep it real. If you can't keep it real with God, I don't know who you want to keep it real with. And I even threw away the idea that we say, never put anything negative behind I am. I threw that out the window because I needed to have a conversation with the beloved and speak my truth, my heart. So there were times I wrote, I am afraid. I'm afraid that this won't happen. I'm afraid. I'm scared. Oh, go sit down somewhere. I need to have a conversation with God, and I don't need your BS. Sit your down. And I just poured my heart into my journal and really confessed the things that I'm concerned about, worried about, and why I don't like the fact that I don't like I'm worried about it, that I'm worried about my thoughts is creating more of what I don't want and how I want to focus more on what I do want, and I need spirit to guide me. In short, I did the process. I received my answer. In fact, the answer is what you're listening to. Well, let me put it this way. The answer is what inspired the show. And what Spirit told me was, I say Spirit, great I am, divine God. So, yeah, because I can. Pray, meditate, and take action. I'm going to try and get through the 4, but you know how I go. So I'm going to give it to you right now, and then we'll touch on it. Because the other people other teachers, they'll give you the first one and they spend some time talking about the first one, and they go to the second one and then the third one, and they're like, now this is the big one. They build it up. I wish I could do that, but I'm not set up that way. So pray, meditate, take action, and get messy. We'll talk more about that if you can be patient enough to wait. What I got was pray, meditate, take action. And the thing about, I know you all have your different ways, your different relationship, but what I found in my life, and even in the Bible talks about, before you ask, I will answer. Before you ask, I will answer. Spirit always answers. Because before I meditated, before I journaled, I had read something about prayer, which made sense. I didn't necessarily receive anything that I didn't know. It's like, yes, I get it. Prayer is a shift in consciousness. So I was receiving little hints here and there. That was about 4 days ago. Yesterday, I woke up. Basically, my heart was healed. I wasn't worried about nothing. I woke up today feeling the same way, feeling really not like, ooh, joyful, but there's a sense of calmness that I was feeling, that I know that is the truth. That is the place I want to be. Like, yes, stuff is happening. There's a stuff I'm dealing with my family members, but that place is holding me. I know that it's because I told the truth. I told my personal truth. And because I confessed my personal truth, I allow the energy of the emotions to be released. Sometimes we hold it in because we think it's not a good idea. You got to let it out. You got to punch it out. You got to fight it out. And we live in a society where people take things and run with it. No, I'm not necessarily saying fight somebody. People do. That's the facts. People do. That's the fact. People go fight somebody else and they feel better after the fight. But I'm saying find a way. If you need to go to the gym, find a pillow. We must get the energy out. The energy of, if I live from my heart, I will be taken advantage of. It's a belief that we thought over. It's a thought that's been thought over and over to become a belief. And then it becomes a reality. We got to let that out. People will take my loving for kindness, or my kindness for weakness, should I say. You got to get that out, because if kindness is so powerful, if you believe it is, if living from the heart is so powerful, if you believe it is, why would we not want to do it? Why would you not want to do it? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you, Pat, but I'm talking to all of us. All of us. There are things that we know. We say we know it works, but why would you not do what you need to do to sit with it long enough? Sit with the pain. There's nothing that you feel that can take you out. There's nothing that you've created. You're co-creating your life with the divine. There's nothing no relationship can take you out unless you choose that for your experience. It's a choice. We don't always know we have a choice. Sometimes we feel like we don't have a choice, and that's a choice. But even if you can't make a choice, don't know that you have a choice, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's not even a judgment. Sometimes it's in talking to somebody. It's in talking to somebody else that you realize that was a waste of flipping energy. how to live aligned, how to live from the heart, aligned. So I went to a grocery store. I'm not gonna name the grocery store over here. I went to a grocery store, and it's okay. Let me tell the story because I'm going to the end. That's why I'm laughing. I went to a grocery store, bought what I needed to. She's listening. She's probably cracking up right now. So I bought I bought something, and when I finished, the machine did not give me the receipt. And so I asked for the manager to get a receipt to what I bought. And they were like, well, it's going to take 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like, 10 to 15 minutes? Well, because they have to print it from the back. I already think that was dumb. It's like 10 to 15 minutes to print a receipt. So the call manager, supervisor out. And she had some keys. And she was trying to do something and move from one. It was one of those you scan, you pay, check out yourself. And she went from one machine to the other. And she said that she won't be able to give me a receipt because she doesn't have the right key for the cash register that I used. And I was like, okay, I still need a receipt. And she was like, this is what, I mean, I already think the whole process was dumb anyway when they told me 10 to 15 minutes. Talk about creating your reality. So I told her, I said, I get that, but I still need a receipt. She said, you're not listening to me. Keisha, shut up. She said, oh, she said, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You don't tell me that. I'm a Aries. Oh, that just, she said, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I said, I hear you. And I'm saying, I want a receipt. And we went at it in the store. Yes, I did. I was like, I don't care about that. It's like, but she basically kept saying, she said I wasn't listening to her. I said, I hear you clearly. She said, would you listen and let me tell you what I'm saying? I said, go ahead. And I was hot. I was mad. It was after the back and forth. I saw the security guy kind of standing. Nobody came to us. Two black people arguing. Don't go there. Black Lives Matter. Step away. I end up leaving without my receipt because I like to get my receipts. I'm self-employed, so I need my receipts for things that I buy. I was so mad. And actually, I was on a Zoom call, so I had to mute them. I muted them and went into the store because I forgot about the meeting. I was so mad. And when I got back on the call, I was trying to center myself. When I talked to my beloved Keisha, she heard me and she said, why did you just return what you bought and just buy it all over at a machine that works? And when she said that, it was the simplest thing. I didn't get the receipt. I can just say, okay, I want to return what I bought and just get the same item and repurchase it. And I'll have a receipt. I did not know I had that choice. I didn't know, and I didn't even know that I didn't know. Keisha and I still laugh about that. Oh my God, I felt so stupid, so small. It's like, sometimes we make things so complicated when the answer is so simple. I feel like if I didn't get into fight mode, I could have said, you know what, I want to return this. Maybe even be mad. Like, I want to return it. I'm not buying from here. But if I'm really mad, I probably won't think to rebuy it. Keisha said, you could have just given it back and buy another one and buy it again and just go to another cash register. Simple. That's how simple the divine is. Sometimes when we think of simple, we think something doesn't have quality, doesn't have a lot of value. Can y'all stop laughing at me? I'm laughing at me. Go right ahead. It's so simple. I remember seeing the supervisor one day because this is my neighborhood, and she looked at me, I looked at her. I remember the incident, for some stupid shift that didn't even need to be that complicated. So when you don't know that you have a choice, you end up fighting for the wrong reason, wasting energy. I didn't leave there feeling better. So back to prayer. Prayer is a conversation. is getting real about what you're feeling. Don't try and be spiritual when you're talking to God. Don't try to be politically correct when you're talking to God. Don't try and choose your words. That's part of the problem. We think we need to go to God perfect. We don't want to be messy. Prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. Listen to the divine. After you have your conversation, God, I don't know about this shit. This is pissing me off and I need your help. Oh my God, you can't say that talking to God. Psh. Some people don't do that. Some people cannot do that because that's not their relationship. But nobody gets to tell anybody how to have a conversation with God. I remember someone telling me that one time at Hillside, and he said, God and I, we have an understanding. That's how I talk to God. I was like, woo, it shifted me. If you can't come as you are, we say come as you are, you're enough. If you can't come as you are with God, who can you come as you are with? Yeah, y'all laughing at me. I know y'all laughing at me. Y'all laughing. Yeah, 3 much for real. Just simple. But give the thing back. Ask for a refund. Okay, something you wrote before, Pat. It helps me slow down because I go into one. Black people have given white supremacy too much power and control over their lives. Ooh, I want to slap you in agreement. White supremacy needs black people or people who believe in its power for it to be a success. I think I talked about that last week. Somehow we believe that if we take our attention away from it, that means we're putting our head, putting your head in the sand. What'd you say? Sound like my cousin. He said, "What you say? What you say?" No, you're moving your energy. You recognize it's happening. I'm not talking about pretending it ain't happening. You know what is happening. If you're going to work and you don't want to be late, but it's raining, you might leave early. You might get your raincoat, boots, umbrella, get Uber, leave early. Do something different so you can get there on time. But you don't spend your time talking about, oh, I hate it when it rains, especially during the winter period. Oh my God, my shoes are going to get wet. This is just wrong. This is God punishing us. When we do that, we give the bullshit power. Meditation is listening to God. Get still. That's also a way of being. You can meditate while you're moving. You can meditate and sit down if you want to. Release the story. I don't know how to meditate. When I sit down, I have so many thoughts. That's the point. There are many types of meditation. Google it. Many types of meditations out there. Google it. But you got to find what works for you. Sometimes you might just need to sit still and just breathe. Put your hands in your stomach. Imagine your nose is in your belly button. Take a deep breath. Even as I do that, the body is not trying to say, oh, wait a minute, he's got a podcast and he's just giving an example. No, my body relaxes. My thoughts rearrange. I become more clearer. I can tie things together because every time you take a conscious deep breath, it's like rebooting your own system. Find the practice. Do it every day as you move through your day. Meditate while you're cooking. Meditate. Or if that's kind of hard for you to process, contemplate the divine, contemplate God, contemplate what it means to be alive, contemplate how nature feeds itself, sustains itself. Contemplate what it means to be human. Contemplate what it means to be a mother, a father, a woman, a guy, a whatever. Contemplate for a dog to be a dog. What is it like for the dog to be a dog? Is the dog really thinking? What is it like to have a cat? What is it like to, what is it like to have a piece of metal that has all this kind of connections and electric stuff firing and fuel doing stuff and sparks to move this metal called a car? Contemplate. What is that like? What is it like for a rock? They say everything is alive. Is a rock alive? How can a rock be alive? Not moving. Well, everything is energy. So a rock is energy, right? And it's heavy. It's hard to move it. I guess it's kind of like ice. You take water. Water can come in the form of ice. It can come in the form of water. Or it could be in the form of steam. It just depends on the kind of vibration. If the vibration slows down slow enough, it becomes solid. When the vibration is less intense, you have water. But when you turn that vibration on up with heat, it becomes steam and it disappears. Where does it go? Back into the ethers. So what happens if I put like a high-powered electrical or maybe some kind of fire that's intense? Would the rock melt? Would it disintegrate? Probably. Maybe. Contemplate. When you're pissed, ask yourself, what is it? What is it about this person that makes me so mad? Why do I give my power away to this person? Why do I respond like this? I hear people say be patient and be compassionate. Sometimes I just cannot even do it. I don't even know why. Where did I get this from? Is something really wrong with me? Or do I need to just accept who I am? Who am I? What am I? Where did I come from? Meditate, contemplate. Because we're talking about returning yourself back to a space where you can live from the heart. And you can live for more than this. I love you. That's good. That works. But where your heart becomes a way of being, a way of living. When you show up, people are like, ooh. Sometimes people don't even have words. They just notice you. And sometimes it may even just trigger them and they say some kind of crap that don't make no sense. That's right. Shirley said, just be still, let the Spirit speak. Yes. And the Spirit is speaking through you as you. Prayer is listening to God. Prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening to God. You pray, you say your part of the conversation, and you listen. And from there, when I got the pray, meditation, and take action, and it was very clear. I even put that to work immediately. I had a meeting. Someone, my new assistant that I'm trying to meet with, he was like, let's meet today. And I was going to plan ahead. And I was thinking, I just meditated. This was on Sunday, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I want to go take a shower. I got another meeting at 2. I only have an hour. I don't want to rush into a meeting. And I heard take action. I took action, and the conversation that I had in the meeting was like, yep, confirmation to keep moving forward. Pray, meditate, take action. Pray, meditate, take action, because your meditation is listening to the voice of Spirit, the voice of the divine. You will know what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You already do it. It's not even, we do it. It's nothing new, but we don't know we're doing it. There's so much I can say. There's so much, because when I say there's so much I can say, because actually living this principle this last few days, it's been transformative. And there's things that I'm still dealing with today that I'm still trying to figure it out. But I have to go back to that place of praying, meditate, and take action. The action that I'm thinking I need to take, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to take that action. If you're not afraid of being messy, which is the 4th step, be willing to be messy. If you're not afraid to be messy, you will find yourself so liberated, so free. Your vulnerability becomes your security guard. It becomes your perfection. There's a sort of gentleness to you that you won't even have to fight your own fight. Other people will fight for you. They'll be like, oh no, don't take that bullshit over to him. Take that mess somewhere else. People will fight your fight. People will fight your fight because you're radiating a different frequency. So when we live from the heart, we're at risk. People who ain't living from the heart. Now, who am I to say that? I don't know. But people who are living from a place of woundedness are still protected. And people still take advantage of them. Pray, meditate, take action. And if you're not afraid of being messy, having a conversation, asking for something you're afraid to ask for, speaking what you need to speak, not afraid of being wrong, You'll be returned. You'll return to love. You will return back to being free. Most of our challenges in the world is because we don't want to get messy. We want to act like we know everything. And yes, we do. If you're not one of the we's, don't worry about it. I'm just talking about us. Those of us that are united in spirit. But if you're not the we, don't worry. But we want to act like we got it together. There's oh my God, today's just about confessing about myself. There's some things that just sometimes, if you can read lips, then you know what I said. There are things that I do that annoys me. But what I've recognized is sometimes, some people say that's what's enduring about me. It's like, shut up, stop, just stop. But what I've realized is this is how I'm showing up. This is it. This is it. Now, enough of telling you my business. I've said too much about myself today. Y'all tell me about y'all business, and then I might tell you about something else that happened before the show. Okay? Other than that, you don't get to hear more about my business. You've been all up in my Kool-Aid. You've laughed at me, but I'm living from my heart, so I don't really mind. Getting messy, it's really about being vulnerable. There is a movie, My Beloved. That brought up something for me, Kwali. Thank you. Kwali said, I hate washing clothes. So even if you have to use a washing machine, I mean, what? And does that mean you walk around with smelly clothes? I know you don't. You got it together. I know you don't even. But yeah, say more about that. There's a movie, I think it's on Netflix, called Lady of the River. Now, if you've watched it, then you know what I'm trying to say. But if you want to watch it, I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit. But there is a part where one of the main character was supposed, I'll put it this way, just in case you decide to watch. It's a really powerful lesson about what happens when we're willing to tell the truth, speak our personal truth. So there's a part where the main character was supposed to do something from this lady creature, but she's a woman, but she lives in the river, in the water. It was something he was supposed to do. Now, he didn't think it was him that was supposed to do it. He thought that other people were supposed to do it. And then it turns out that he was the one that was supposed to bring about the healing that the lady needed. I don't remember if they told him to pray, but he had to do something. And what he did was not what I thought he was going to do. And if you've seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it or plan to see it, when you see it, you know what I mean. His family died, I think, in a car accident. I can't remember now. And he carried that. He hid that. When people find out, he gets uncomfortable. So when he was about to help this woman, rather than, we'll use the word pray, we'll say that rather than pray. I don't remember if that's what it was. He was supposed to do something. But prayer is about opening the door of connection, tapping into the secret place of the Most High, your heart. So instead of praying, he started to confess. He talked about, I think he said, I should have been there for you. I'm really sorry. He apologized to his family who died in the accident. He spoke his truth. He went to a place that was so messy, had him crying. He was so vulnerable. He was sharing a secret. And from that place of vulnerability, he was able to help another. Okay, Pat, thank you. How to live aligned with your heart. Pray, meditate, take action. Yes, take inspired action, but sometimes you may not feel like you're being inspired. Some of the spiritual thing that we do, it's a little bit heady sometimes. Heady. I got to do this. I'm waiting for inspired action. I'm not going to get up. Well, if you're guided to do that, sure. I have to meditate for 15 minutes exactly because Abraham said 15 minutes. But I feel like getting up now. It's only been 9 minutes. Now, Abraham said 15 minutes. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in. Oh, I feel like I want to get up. No, get up. Get up. Get your up. Listen to the guidance within. All roads lead to God. You and God are one. So you may be living your life right now from God and I. That's great. Because some people don't even, I don't want to say it like that. I don't need to compare or judge anybody. Consciousness evolves where we see, I know for me, my story, God was out there. I believed God was loving and kind. And I'm here. And I'm praying up to God to help me. I'm begging God when I do things that I felt I shouldn't be doing. I can tell you stories. I thought I was going to get in trouble because God is watching. And through my spiritual journey, I've gone through a place where it's like God and I are one. It took a while to really get that. It's like, really? I don't know. Sometimes I'm comfortable saying I am God, but I'm not completely comfortable with that. It just, my body goes, whoa, wait a minute. You can't fit that into this body. But it doesn't really matter. We have to find what works. Here's how I break it down. There is no spot where God is not. God is all powerful, all knowing, and everywhere evenly present. If God is everywhere evenly present, and there's no spot where God is not, so God is right here. Yes, Pat, it's on Netflix, The Lady of the River, something like that. So if God is everywhere evenly present, so God is inside of me. I am inside of God because God is inside and God is outside. So when you live from God and I as one, great. But life is moving us to a space and a place where we must recognize that God as I. Try that on for size. It brings about a certain kind of responsibility when you allow yourself to contemplate God as I. This is a space where you know that when you are praying, you're talking to that part of you that is mostly the part of you that's mostly invisible. Most of you is invisible. I like that. New Jason on YouTube said, I am a godlet. God L-E-T. I am a godlet. I like that. That's funny. Yes. But you're living from a place that if there is no spot where God is not, God is all powerful, everywhere, evenly present, all knowing. God is everywhere, evenly present. It means God is here. And everything that started, we don't have time. We're about to wrap up the show. Everything was created from God, is being created from God. We are co-creating. We are the form that gives a shape to God. Your life is a unique way in which God is telling an amazing story. So we all have a gift. We all characters in this production called life. So you got to know your lines. You pray, talk to God. What's my line? You listen, meditate to get your line. You take action and step into the stage of life and give it all. And the audience go, oh my God, I can feel you. You became the word. You became your lines. You became the character. You're not afraid if you being an actor, a drug addict, or a doctor, or a superhero, you're not worried if people are going to say something about you like, oh my God, you made me believe that was you. No, you just put it out there. Let me see on IG. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook, my bad. I just want to see if there's anything I need to talk about. Yeah, y'all laughing at me. I know, I said that before. Yeah, choice is a function of awareness. Choice is definitely a function of awareness. Being still long enough. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am is God. Be still and know that I am is God. The great I am is the divine. The great I am is you. You know, in the Bible, it talks about Genesis, which represents the beginning. We talk about the Big Bang. The Big Bang to me is nothing but a new thought. When God or the gods had a new thought, wait a minute. Let's create man and woman in our image. What would that look like? Have you ever sat down with some friends talking, just kicking it, chopping it up, and like, wow, what if wow, that's a big bang. It's an explosion of electrons and molecules in your own universe. So when you create the person, like, you know what, I think I'm ready to be in a relationship. And somebody shows up in your life and you're not sure if you want to call it good, but because you're hesitant whether to call it good, you start to look for something like, I don't know. And then the part that you focus on more becomes your reality. So that's not good. So you criticize, demonize your own creation. But if you call it good, because whoever you attract into your life, whatever you attract into your life, helps you get clear about what you want, what you need, what you desire. So yes, when you tap into the word, when it talks about in the Bible, in the beginning was the word. The word is not the word that was spoken. It is, but it isn't. It's a creative energy. It even said nothing that God ever created was created without the word. It's not the spoken word. It's this vibrational energy, this frequency, this creative life force. Even God had to tap into the creative life force to birth you. So Kwali said, yep, just lazy. I have so many, I can let them pile up. Woo, Lord bless you. No wonder you hate it. You have so many, you let them pile up. So when they pile up and it's time to do it, you're like, oh, who did this? I hate Washington. But here's something I'll say to you, Kwali. Speaking of representing our ancestors, representing our stories, I want to throw something out there for you. You may want to ask your parents about their grandparents, or maybe them. The question is, who in your ancestry hated doing washing? What if it's not just about you having so many clothes? What if somebody in your lineage was always had to wash every day and they hated it, but they had to do it? And that energetic imprint is now showing up through you. We don't need to judge it. We just recognize it. And when you recognize it, when you realize, oh, this is not mine, but it is, but it isn't. This is in my lineage, and you don't judge it. That energy finds a way. The things that we try to repress, they won't let you be. What you can't be with won't let you be. What you can't be with won't let you be. Because it keep pushing, it's going to keep showing up. There are things that we don't like about ourselves. So many things that we don't like about ourselves. If we allow ourselves to ask the question, who in my lineage, in my ancestry, had this same thing going on? What if this is just how that ancestor wants to show up? Or maybe I am the one to heal it right now. I find that in my family with my parent, because my mom is on the other side now. My mom and I have a great relationship now. We're good. With my dad, woo, growing age. And with my siblings, sometimes I carry this thing about they judge the way I am. Like I am here. We're dealing with something now and we have a small group and I told them exactly what I felt. And I heard myself say, I'm not going to put my siblings out like that, but they have a way of judging me that I don't like. Or let me say they have a way of how do I put it? I mean, it is judgment. That's what it is. They have a way of judging the way I think. And they have a phrase that they use that used to piss me off. Now, I just feel it a little bit. So when I left a message for them on the group thing that we had, and I shared what I was feeling, I said, I know you're going to say Ade is the blah, blah, blah. He's the this, but I don't care. This is my truth. Now, it's a little bit rebellious. It's a little bit of, I'm going to flip about what you think of, and it's fine. But you know what? That was my truth. because I needed to acknowledge it. Once I shared, expressed from my heart, I was feeling vulnerable that they might judge me. And I needed to preserve myself by saying that, whether they did or if they did or not. Living from the heart is a day-to-day opportunity. And the truth is, you already do. But this is an invitation to live from it from a transcendent place. To trust in your heart so much that it can heal itself and it can heal you. Yes, your heart has been broken. It can be healed. Yes, you were betrayed. It can be healed. When it's healed, you are healed. That you can trust again. You can love again. You can rise up again. You can start over again. You are enough. You can get to a place where what happened in the past has no power over you. It actually becomes a story of inspiration that turns your life around. You're like, I never thought I was going to write a book. I never thought I'd be out here speaking. I never thought I would have a podcast. I never knew I'd be teaching these classes. It's just, I remember going to a therapist and went to a counselor and I was sharing this story and I just realized it was impacting me. And now when I talk about it as if, I was thirsty. I got up and poured some water and I drank it. I don't even understand. It doesn't trigger me anymore. There's no energy around it. Living from the heart also means being willing to be on the edge. In the words of Abraham, the leading edge. And there are people living from their heart. We may not like what they're doing, but they're out there. And out there doesn't always mean being in the front. Out there could be you be behind the scenes doing what you need to do. I feel weird having this conversation because I'm thinking, but this is mine to do. If you've chosen to live from your heart, and you've discovered that, he said something about a podcast, I really need to look into it. Well, if you are looking into it, you're going to need a podcast hosting site, libsyn.com, libsyn.com. Check them out, because that's where your podcast will sit, so that it goes out to Apple, Google, Spotify, Notify. if you still with Spotify like that. But all the platforms, you need to have your podcast sitting on the site. Libsyn.com, libsyn.com. Check it out. Or if you know somebody who has a podcast, have them check it out. If you do decide to sign up, or they decide to sign up, make sure they use my promo code, which is ADE, my name, Ade, which means you get a whole month free, no matter what. But if you want to get more than that, you want to trick the system, the Libsyn system, you can actually sign up now. If you sign up now, then you get a whole of this month free and then the whole of March. But if you wait till March to sign up on the 2nd of March, don't sign up on the 1st of any month. If you sign up on the 1st of March, you get the whole of March free and the whole of April. So check it out, libsyn.com. Ricky Byers and I, tomorrow, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Thursday morning, UK time. So fulfilling. Join us as we go deep with music and conversation, laughter. It's a great place to be. What else did I need to tell you? If something bubbled up for you, if an idea popped, or you find that you're at a place where you're ready to move from where you are to where you want to be, you need to support the guidance. Maybe you had an aha moment and you're like, I need help. I'll be your help. I'm hearing the song, I'll be here for you. I don't know the words. I'm not even going to try to sing it. But go to my website, lifecoachade.com, lifecoachade. The new site is coming soon. I am excited. You can go to the product and services, or you can send me an email. Send me an email through the contact page. I will send you a Calendly, and we'll have a conversation and see how I can support you. And if you want to exchange energy, money, if you want to give back to this inspiration that you received, I gave energy. I received it too, because I'm on fire already. And you gave, and you want to give back, you can donate through Cash App, Venmo, and what is it? What's the other one? PayPal. So I will post that right now for those of you who are watching PayPal. It's paypal.me/Ade Adefowose. ADE. That's my first name. So I'm going to slow it down for you. PayPal.me/ADE ANIFOWOSE. Or you can go to Venmo, which is at ADE hyphen Adefowose ANIFOWOSE. And what's the other one? Cash App. It's £. That's the British currency. £, not LBS. For those of you in America, £, Life Coach Ade, Life Coach ADE. Thank you very much. I have had a great time. I feel good. Let me see if there's anything in here. What was the name of the movie? Lady of the River, I think it is. I think I answered that. Yes, Kwali, ask that question. Who in your ancestry hates washing? Could be your parents, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, maybe your grandparents. But you know what? Even if nobody can give you that answer, the fact that you're asking the question, you shall receive. Abraham was just reminding us of the laws, one of the laws of life. When you ask, you receive. Ask and it is received. Ask and it is given. So just by asking the question, you receive. You can't help but not receive. You're asking God, and you are living God as you. God is living itself as you. So you're asking your higher self, your inner being, the great I am that is having his way, is having his experience through you. You're sending the question out, and you can't help but receive whatever the question is. God said, before you ask, I will answer. They told us that everything God did was complete. It was good. It was complete. So it's done. That's an interesting username. Ooh, just breathe. Ooh, I like that. Yes. Yeah, let's I'm about to finish the show. Just breathe. Okay, I want to invite everybody. Remember, imagine your nose is in your belly button. You breathe in through your belly button and you breathe out. Together, let's take a deep breath. Thank you. Ooh, just breathe. Thank you. May the words of what I had to share inspire you to take inspired action, to access what is true about you, what is great about you, to move in the direction of your surrender, to say a deeper yes to life, to show up when life calls you, when you call you, when your family calls you. And may you tap into the courage to show up fully. See you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 2 a.m. Thursday morning, UK. So Fulfilling with Ricky Byers, back with, no, Ricky Byers. Trying, like, she's no longer a Beckwith anymore. So Kwali said, I shall receive. That's right, it is done. I'm going to ask my mother. I'm asking my mother. I know it wasn't my grandmother. I remember when she used to use the washboard. Well, the fact that you're bringing it up might be that. You know, we can get nostalgic about washboard, but she probably hated that shift. I love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I thank God for you. Life is good. It's getting better. Now take the consciousness, multiply it, and let your life be an example of what God really is through you, as you. Peace and blessings. Be who you are.